he was the best example. He answered letters the same day. He returned phone calls the same day. He was the most efficient man I have ever worked for, and I learned a lot from him, and I picked up a lot from him, establishing plans and assigning duties and so forth. It was wonderful training, and how fortunate. And you talk about a lucky career. It was just a chance thing that I actually went to work for this great man. So I started raising money and going around the state, not sure that I could do it, but you know, there it was. And as I mentioned, putting together a detailed plan dividing the state into 8 regional districts and going into every single parish, shaking hands everywhere I went. And by the time we got down to having the big parades in the election year, I would walk the parade, and in front of me I had students carrying this big banner that said Sandra Thompson, Secretary of State. And they walked ahead of me. And I was walking back behind them and waving and shaking some hands and all that. And then all of a sudden you would hear this roar. And you would look up, and it was people when they saw this name, after I had been around the state campaigning. It was actually frightening. It was so amazing. My husband and I were shocked. But I guess if you really work hard, and here's what I did on a daily basis. If I filled up with gas, I went around and shook hands with every person at the gas station. And I went into a restaurant, I went to every table. I went into a bank, shook hands with everybody there. And I remember years later, I met a guy who said, I met you in Faraday, Louisiana in a bank, that you walked in and shook my hand and said you were running for Secretary of State. A day didn't go by that I didn't do that, every single place that I went. And when I was campaigning, I would have people tell me, these women would say, we're voting for you for Secretary of State. My husband just thinks you're so beautiful, and I'm going to vote for Paul Hardy because I think he's cute for governor. And you never turn down anybody. You know, you don't say, no, that's not why you should vote for me. You say, oh, thank you. Here's what I always said, and she always said, that being a woman can open the doors for you. But once you're in there, you almost have to work twice as hard to prove that you can do the job, that you're capable of it, that you're smart enough. And I think overall, the things she did will go down in history. And I hope that her having this Blanco Research Center is going to do so much for students, and people all over the world will know. She will always be the first woman governor of Louisiana. I think that we need to encourage other women. I always said that. Someone would say to me, I'm thinking about running for police jury, and I would say, go for it, you can do it. And many women ran and got elected. I think we need to reach back and bring up those that are behind us. I never stopped doing that. I still do that to this day. And I'm very, very proud of that. I absolutely love the Atchafalaya Basin, the stillness of it, the beauty of it. I would go into those cities, and I had a beautiful slide presentation, and I talked about the value, and I knew, I rattled off what the value was, what oil and gas, what timber, what recreation, what crawfishing industry was. This was the largest wild catch of crawfish in the world. Fishing, commercial fishing, trapping. This Atchafalaya was one of the most valuable resources in our state. And it swamped, to use the word, the Everglades. I mean, it's just a sea of grass. This has everything in it. And so, and plus it's the culture. The Acadian culture, these people came from Nova Scotia, and they hunted and fished and trapped up there, and they were able to come back and into an area that they could love and do the same thing. And it still means a lot to them. I hope that people realize that it's possible to believe in something that may sound impossible, but it's possible to work hard and work within the system and build up support and make something big happen. It takes time, but it can be done, and I think women need to know that. They need to know that they can start at the bottom and they can work their way up, and it's possible.